We're on the road. Where transportation goes, community grows. Welcome to On the Road with the MTA. And welcome again to On the Road with the MTA. I'm Jay Gibbons alongside with Stephanie Kay from the MTA. How is Stephanie over there?
I am great. And like you said, this is called On the Road for a reason. I've been on the road a lot. Yesterday, I had gone to a meeting over at the new Sloan Museum of Discovery. Have you been there yet?
That is so cool. Yes.
It is so okay. Have you been there since it's opened up, since the new one?
Not since the new one.
See, I was so surprised. I went to a chamber event there, and they asked who's been here the old Sloan. Everybody raised their hands. Everybody knew the old Sloan. He said, who's been here since we've opened? I was the only hand that went up, and there was probably 30 people in the room.
Wow.
I know. The man next to me said, well, is that the old Sarvis Center? I haven't been here for years. It's time to go to the Sloan Museum. I got to tell you, it is amazing. There's so much wonderful information there. And you almost need a tour for every time you go in, because there were stories behind these cars that were in there that were so touching and so interesting. I want to tell you all about it, but I have somebody with me who's going to tell you more about it. It's the executive director, Todd Schlischer, and he does such a great job over there at the Sloan Museum of Discovery. And Todd, I know you're a busy man. You're leaving to go on vacation. You're fitting everything in this week. Thank you for taking your time to be with us today.
Oh, I'm happy to be here.
Well, I know when we were there at the luncheon, I didn't realize you guys actually could rent those places out, the rooms for meetings. You do that there as well, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, obviously, we have all our exhibits, and that's what most people are coming for, whether it's Discovery Hall or the new History Gallery or the new Durant Gallery to see the cars, or even to bring your young one into the Early Childhood Gallery. But we also, yes, we do a lot of community events. So we have various rooms and spaces that we can rent out, or even if you're a not-for-profit group, we can work with you to give you a space to meet. And so it's a really versatile area. I really have the philosophy that a museum should be a community hub. It's here for the whole community. And so that means, yes, if you want to come in and see the exhibits, great. But if you also want to have a wedding here, we do quite a few of those, or a birthday party, or other community meetings. You mentioned the chamber meeting that we just had, or Rotary or Kiwanis clubs. We want to be here for everybody. And so we are really interested in fully utilizing the museum and the museum spaces for all of these different events.
Well, I have 4 grandchildren. They're aged 5 through 12, and each and every one of them will always say, Nana, can we go to the Sloan Museum? Can we go to the Sloan? Every single time they come, they want to go to the Sloan Museum because it's so much fun, educational, and it's free for anybody in Genesee County. You can't beat that.
Yeah, I can't beat the price, can you? No, because the Arts and Culture Millage that was passed in 2018, we're able to offer free admission to all Genesee County residents. So it doesn't cost anything to come to the Sloan Museum. And even the Longway Planetarium across the street is half price for Genesee County residents. So it's really a great deal. And we've been seeing a lot more repeat visitation ever since this was passed, because people realize, well, I can go this week, and then, if we didn't have enough time, if we only had a couple hours and my kid wants to go back, we can go next week and we don't have to pay anything.
Right.
So it is the, perfect opportunity. I really also love how it opens up access for all Genesee County residents, so that, price of admission isn't a barrier to come and learn. That's a really important part for us. And, if you were paying full admission, not a Genesee County resident, and you were a family of 4, it might cost you $40 to $50 to come in here. But Genesee County residents, they get in free.
I just think that's tremendous. And I know that you have the Flint Institute of Art. You can also get in there free as well, can't you?
Yeah, that's true. There are many cultural organizations that are supported by the millage, and therefore they either have free admission or reduced admission. So yes, the Flint Institute of Arts is free. Genesee County residents get reduced ticket prices over at the Whiting or the Capitol Theater for their events. And the millage actually supports a lot of other community arts organizations all around Genesee County. So whether you're up in Clio or you're somewhere else in the county, there are lots of arts organizations that are also partially supported by the millage. And it allows us to go out and do outreach programs to different spaces as well. So whether you see us in Schwartz Creek, or whether we're down in Fenton, or whatever area of the county, and a lot of those visits or a lot of those programs are supported by the Arts and Culture Millage.
Well, I know you do such good work over there, and it's just educational for the children, and I appreciate it so much that I have donated both to the Sloan Museum and to the Longway Planetarium. So my name's on the wall there at the Sloan Museum when you first walk in.
Cool.
And it's also shared there. Yeah, it's also on share at the Longway Planetarium. So no, it's definitely well worth it. I mean, the government takes half the taxes anyway, so why not give to a great organization
That's right.
get a tax deduction with it. So it's definitely well worth
That's
it.
right.
Yeah.
You can. Every donation to the Sloan Museum or Longway Planetarium is tax deductible, and so you can write that off, and it benefit for you and helps the whole community as well.
And you can also do some fun things because you have events all year long. Like you have the mix and mingles, you have the cars and bars, and you have the night at the did I say night at the museum twice? I think I didn't. It's so much fun. I want to say it twice. But now they can find out about those events at your website if they want to make a donation, actually have a good time, and go do those events. What is that website?
Yeah.
Where can they see it?
We host 3 major fundraisers a year. And the next one we have coming up, you mentioned, is Mix and Mingle. That one actually is happening on April 19th. It's a Wednesday, and it's just kind of a drop-in over at the planetarium. But we'll have a whole lot of kind of Taste of Flint food vendors in there. We get a bar set up and then some specialty drinks and other things. So it's just a great way to come and help support the Sloan Museum and Longway Planetarium. So as you said, Stephanie, those events are all on our website. So you can go to sloanlongway.org is where you would find those. But then we also have our big annual gala in September every year. That's that Night at the Museum event that you mentioned. And we host a joint event with the FIM, or FIM, down at a car collection called Cars and Bars. That one generally takes place during October. So, and lots of other events that we do during the year that are not fundraisers, but they're great community events. We have a book reading club going right now. We have community lecture series, both for science topics over in the planetarium and history topics here at Sloan. So lots of different things always happening. Check the website for the whole calendar.
You do have so many wonderful things. And the Sloan Museum itself, the Sloan Museum of Discovery, has something for every age. Because I know my little kids, they love to do that, play in the water that you have there. And there's little tubes where the scarves come out. And there's a slide. They could stay there all day long. But the adults can really enjoy a lot of the history there as well. I love that you brought the cars over to Sloan because you had 2 different locations before. And you're right. I went to the Sloan Museum, but very seldom did I go and see the cars. And now I can see them. And I almost wish there was like a recording for every single car because there's so much information there. The one prototype you had from the 50s had a backup camera in it back in the 50s. That's how far.
Wow.
Yes. And it didn't catch on until recently, which I thought was really interesting.
That was the Centurion from 1956. And it was the first car built with a backup camera. This is not a production model. It was a concept car. But a lot of things from that car actually made its way into production models, and the backup camera definitely was something that they utilized later. Not exactly in the same format. When you go in and see that car, it doesn't even have a rear view mirror in it. They thought, the backup camera is good for everything. Maybe not quite. You might still want to keep those mirrors, but yes. So you can come see lots of innovations. And as you mentioned, we did build a new car gallery. It's called the Durant Gallery onto the Sloan Museum. This kind of takes the place of the old Buick Gallery display space where we used to show off our cars. That space was fine, but it was across the Cultural Center campus. It was about a 5-minute walk away. We didn't have a lot of people going over to that space. So instead, we've actually added the new auto gallery onto the Sloan Museum. So when you come in, you've got that whole experience here under one roof, and you don't have to go out and walk across campus to go see the cars.
And I love it. It's all in one stop where you can see how transportation has really changed. I mean, you saw when there's horse and buggies, and then you saw the cars that didn't even have a windshield, when they first came out. Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize, until you think about it, that you had to wear little coats over your clothes because the soot and all the dirt would get on your clothes. So you wore like a little duster so you would keep your clothes clean. And they also had a little foot warmer. You could put your feet in there because it got so cold there was no heaters in the car.
Wow.
Things you don't think about.
That's right. The first car models, especially in the 19 aughts or the 10s or even early into the 20s, they oftentimes didn't have enclosed cabins, and they didn't at first. So yes, you'd have to wear your goggles, you'd have to wear a duster so you didn't get muddy, you'd have to keep warm, and there were various means for doing that. Little foot warmers and other things like that. Definitely was a much different experience when they started enclosing the car cabins and then putting things like heaters in cars and eventually things like air conditioning in cars. Obviously made automotive travel a lot more convenient and comfortable.
Absolutely.
But those early days were a little rough.
And then moving forward, you have a concept car in there right now. It's like an autonomy car. It has like plastic bubble over it and fits 2 people with a lot of leg room. You can see that there as well.
Yes, we have an agreement with General Motors that we always have a rotating concept car within the Durant Gallery. And so that is after it gets done doing the car show circuit, out there, whether it's the North American Auto Show or any of the other ones down in Chicago or LA. They will come here to the Sloan Museum and be exhibited for a year. And every year we will swap that out. So right now we have a car in there that's called the ENV. It's a small two-person, mobile transport, which is an autonomous vehicle. It was actually built for the Asian market, and the idea is it would navigate, tight streets and crowded, dense areas fairly well. But then in March, I don't want to give it away what the next one is, but we have a new one coming in. So come back and see us again in March and April, and we'll have a different one.
Oh, good. That's good to know. Yeah, they also have, Jay, an adopt-a-car. So you can put your name on a car for $1,000 for the entire year. And that money goes to the Sloan, and yet you have your name on there in a car.
Do you get a chance to drive the old car? Or?
No, you do not.
Oh.
No, you cannot drive it, but you can adopt them. And we put a recognition sign up on all the cars in our Durant Gallery if they are adopted, recognizing who was helping support us and helping support those exhibits. So we really appreciate those people that have adopted a car. And if you have a favorite, you might want to come in and think about doing the same.
Yeah, well, there is something for everyone. That is for sure. And I thank you for taking your valuable time to come and talk to us. We're going to let you run so you can go pack and get ready for your vacation. But we just thank you for letting us know about the Sloan Museum being opened. What are the hours there, Todd?
So Monday through Friday, we're open from 10 o'clock till 5 o'clock. And then on Saturdays, we're open the same hours. Sundays, it's 12 to 5. We do have some late hours, so check our website for late hours, because we even have some specialty events sometimes for just adults only or other late hours for groups. So check the website for the full-time times that you can come on in.
I love the birthday idea. The birthday party's there, and they have pizza there if you want to buy that, or you can just, it makes it all a mess right there, and you leave, and the kids have a great time. They don't want to leave.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So check out the birthday party situations, too. Well, Todd, thank you once again. Have a great time. Bring back some sunshine for us, would you please?
All right, I will, and thanks again for having me on. I really appreciate it.
You bet. Make sure you check out the Sloan Museum of Discovery. You will not be sorry. You're going to go back many times. And thanks for listening to On the Road with the MTA, Jay, and Stephanie K. And please be a guest sometime soon. How can I do that, Jay?
Just drop us an email at podcast@mtaflint.org. You've been listening to On the Road with the MTA. For more information on our services and community outreach, visit us online anytime at www.mtaflint.org. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. The MTA, your community, your connection, your way.